7:03.
Mine is 7. Call to order the regular council meeting for the corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan this 5th day of August 2026 at 7:01 p.m. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this council and our community that we're meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. We are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Roll call, Councillor Banks.
Yes.
Councillor Caulfield.
Here.
Councillor Keller.
Here.
Councillor Quad.
Present.
We have a resolution that we, the council for the corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan, adopt the agenda as submitted, moved by Councillor Caulfield, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any comments, questions? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest with anything on the agenda this evening for anyone? See none. The mayor's address. July was a very quiet month. The county takes the month of July off. So I just had the regular council meeting, and last week, we did interviews for a CBO, and I think everybody's probably aware that Glenn Lickey passed away last week. Glenn was a road super and worked for our municipality for many, many years. I spoke with Virginia, and we made $100 donation to their charity of choice, being St. Stephen's Church. So, yeah. And Rhoda asked me if we had a picture around of Glenn with the yellow plow truck. She said she knew she's seen it, but she don't have it. So if anybody runs across it, can. And that's all I have to report. Clerk's report. She has nothing to report either. We have no delegations or presentations. Welcome, Miriam. We have a motion for minutes that we, the council for the corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan, hereby adopt the minutes of the regular council meeting of July 8th, 2026 as presented. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Keller. Any comments, questions? No?
No to me.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Okay, we are at committee and or staff reports. We have a report from the operations manager for the heating and air conditioning at the arena, and I understand it's verbal. So Jordan.
Yes, so through the mayor, I was able to get 2 contractors here so far to have a look at the project. I have one formal quotation in hand. I have a verbal quotation as well. I'm supposed to have a formal one from the individual next week. Both very competitive, pretty well the same price. So with more to come on this, I want to get some more pricing on best options for us. So it's a little slower than I'd like it to be. They're not too quick getting here to look at the project, so it's kind of delaying things a little bit. That's where we're at with it.
Any indication for the ones that you have, like if they were chosen, how quickly they could do the work?
One has indicated October at the earliest. I haven't got any confirmation from the second one yet.
Okay. Wow.
So
Summertime, everyone's busy.
everyone's busy.
Yeah. Okay, so more at the next meeting.
More to come.
Okay. We have a resolution for correspondence that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindog, and Raglan hereby accept the correspondence as circulated. Can I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Quad, seconded by Councillor Banks. You have the list and had a chance to review it. Is there anything anyone would like to pull or?
10 for sure.
I looked at that. What is that magazine? Like, what's the circulation and because I mean, I'm sure the advertising will be very
Yeah, they're
expensive.
looking for my advertisement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the circulation of this magazine?
Is it around here at all? No.
I don't know.
And I'm sure that there's no, like, it's for the benefit of the magazine. It's a tribute, a public tribute to fallen firefighters.
Yeah, it says financial support for funeral burial services and when needed support with making arrangements for funerals and burials.
Okay.
So it helps out the families basically.
Okay, any other comments from council? They didn't attach the cost of advertising,
An 8th page ad is $3.95 plus tax
so for the little,
for the tiny one.
so 400 plus tax. Okay, what's council's feeling on that?
Yeah, well, I'd like to see it.
Have you any input, Jordan?
I can see it being beneficial to the families and whatnot, but honestly, can't say I've ever seen this magazine myself, or know anybody who has benefited from the,
Well, we could always ask around.
Maybe, I mean, we'd pull it for come back to the next meeting, maybe see if you can get some information on it and how families access it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm curious to find.
Yeah.
we can do that.
Okay, so we'll pull that one then. Anything else for anyone?
I was just kind of wondering about 1014. I don't know. With those 1 pound green cylinders.
Yeah, I looked at that one as well.
Yeah, like what does happen to those at the wayside? Anybody know?
I don't know what happens at our waste sites, but I know in the park, they have a separate
Yeah.
area for those to be recycled into. So how they get picked up or what happens to them, I don't know.
They're technically considered a hazardous waste and can be disposed of at our hazardous waste days. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Cause that's how I got rid of my big tanks.
yeah,
And that's only once a year.
Yeah.
but I mean, people probably aren't using them on a daily basis.
Yeah.
They are reusable. There are filling attachments you can get to reuse them, so people could
Yeah,
be
you can buy them and do it yourself.
reusing them. Yeah.
I had one propane exchange company that used to take those, but they quit taking them.
Okay. So are you asking for that one to be pulled?
Well, I didn't know what you guys thought. Like, I wasn't sure.
Unless it-
What do we do with them in
Right.
our wayside?
Yeah,
What are they doing with them?
well, they'd have to go to household hazard.
Okay, so they're not taking them.
They don't come into our site. Cause they'd be a hazardous.
I'd like to know what they do with them too. Yeah.
I guess when you read it, what they're trying to do is get
I
the
think,
manufacturer to
Yeah,
yeah, or make
contribute or try to come up with something to.
more places to make it.
but
Since I think they collect legal fees on them.
when you buy them,
Like when you, yeah, so someone's collecting, but no one's, the burden
Yeah.
falls on the townships or whomever.
Yeah.
well, I guess, yeah. We do pay for household hazardous waste.
And the burdens fall back on the township.
Mm.
Like I know in the summertime, like I carry them at the store. They sell in the summertime.
Yeah, because people use them for cooking, like propane gas stoves and lamps.
Same as the little butane ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, it says here, like, a lot of the people have no practical way of disposing.
Well, I mean, they gotta hang on to them
Yeah.
all for a year.
So time 14. Okay, anything else in there?
Did anyone look at 1013?
10:13.
He was kind of suggesting if people were doing or had support into the provincial government, maybe they would put some funding towards smaller communities that can't afford what larger communities can afford for speed mitigation around schools and what talks about
They still,
signs that show speed, when you're driving along that help slow traffic. We're
Yeah.
small municipalities can't afford that stuff.
Renfrew has a couple of those.
So they're kind of looking to see if the province would come back and help the smaller communities, smaller townships.
Boncher Valley has one or two. Okay. Okay,
Costs nothing to ask.
No.
no,
The other one was around 10-9. Provincial support funding and coordinated plans for combat tick diseases since they're becoming a bigger problem.
okay. Okay, everybody's happy with that?
Mm-hmm,
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
yes.
Opposed, none. Motion is carried. Okay, we move on to a letter of support for sustainable funding for public health units. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan support the Prince Edward County's resolution regarding sustainable funding for public health units, and that this resolution be forwarded to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, the Association of Municipalities, Rural Ontario Municipal Association, the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, and all municipalities in Ontario. Could I get a mover for that, please? And a seconder? Moved by Councillor Quad, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none. The motion is carried. And we have another resolution to support Bill 97, a plan to protect Ontario Act budget measures. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan support the Town of Bruce Mines resolution regarding Bill 97, Plan to Protect Ontario Act, and further that this resolution be forwarded to the Premier of Ontario, the Attorney General of Ontario, Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke MPP, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities, and the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Ontario, and all municipalities in Ontario. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Keller, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any comments, questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none. The motion is carried. And we have another support resolution for modernizing Ontario's invasive plants, rules to protect taxpayers, municipal lands, agriculture, natural heritage, and local gardens. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lindock, and Raglan support the Town of Halton Hills resolution regarding modernizing Ontario's invasive plants rules to protect taxpayers, municipal lands, agriculture, natural heritage, and local gardens. And further, that this resolution be forwarded to the Premier of Ontario, the Ontario Minister of Natural Resources, the Ontario Minister of Agriculture, Food and Agribusiness, the Ontario Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Ontario Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, the Federal Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Federal Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food, Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke, MPP, and MP, the County of Renfrew, AMO, Roma, FCM, the Ontario Invasive Plant Council, Landscape Ontario, the Canadian Nursery Landscape Association, and all municipalities in Ontario. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Keller. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. And we have another letter of support to remove off-road motorcycle vehicles from the Algonquin trails. Be it resolved that the Council, the Corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lindock, and Raglan support the Township of Laurentian Valley resolution regarding the request to remove off-road motorcycle vehicles from the Algonquin Trail. And further, that this resolution be forwarded to County of Renfrew municipalities. Moved by Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. We have the financial reports with the resolution that we, the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lindock, and Raglan, accept the year-to-date budget variance and the monthly expenses summary as presented. Could I get a mover for that, please?
I can move.
Moved by Councillor Caulfield, seconded by Councillor Banks. And everyone's had a chance to review them. Is there any comments or questions?
No.
Looks good to me. We don't have any unforeseen catastrophes. We should come out pretty good.
Under transportation, you have some stuff you have to spend there.
I've got all the construction for the most part. There's some expense out of there's environment, but yeah, there's quite a bit there. There's so much truck safeties to do yet. Yeah,
Is the paving in there?
you're saying all that
That's still to come, right?
still to come.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Paving contract is active mid August.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Bylaws. We have a resolution that we, the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Brudenell, Lindock, and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw 2026-40, being a bylaw to accept a transfer of property from Joseph Charles and Carl Ann Van Massenhoven for the purpose of assuming it as part of the municipal road system, with the property being part of Lot 15, Concession 9, Brudenell being Part 4 on Plan 49R 21107. Township of Brudenell, Lindock, and Raglan, having been read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Keller, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any comments or questions? We've had this before at the meeting, and it's just the process now of the bylaws. Okay, so I'll call for the vote then. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none. The motion is carried. And another one that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan hereby adopts bylaw 2026-41, being a bylaw to accept a transfer of property from William and Annette Thistlewaite for the purpose of assuming it as part of the municipal road system, with the property being part of lot 16, concession 10, Brudenell being part 3 on plan 49R 21107, Township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan, having been read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Could I get a mover for that, please?
I can move.
Moved by Councillor Capel, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any comments or questions? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. And then one more, that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw 2026-42, being a bylaw for the assumption and dedication of part of lot 15, concession 9, Brudenell, being part of lot 4 on plan 49R 291107 Lindock. Is that right?
So the first two bylaws was accepting the transfer of the properties, and the next two bylaws are assuming them into our, dedicating them into our road systems.
But plan 49R 21107 is Brudenell, not Lindock. Being the township of.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Sure, should be good.
Okay, good. Township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan being part of PIN 57508-0006. Land titles in the township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan in the county of Renfrew as part of the Drohan Road, having been read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Quad, seconded by Councillor Keller. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. And we have another one for the Nordic Road, that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan hereby adopts bylaw 2026-43, being a bylaw for the assumption and dedication of part of lot 16, concession 10, Brudenell being part 3 on plan 49R 21107, Brudenell, township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan, being part of PIN 57508-0003, land titles in the township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan in the county of Renfrew as part of the Nordic Lane, having been read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Could I get a mover for that, please?
I can move.
Moved by Councillor Capel, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Another one tidied up. Okay. So on to the next one. That we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan hereby adopts bylaw 2026-44, being a bylaw to accept a transfer of property from Mervyn Werner Gogolin for the purpose of assuming it as part of the municipal road system, with the property being part of lot 29, concession 14, Lindock being part 2 of plan 49R 21159, township of Brudenell, Lindock and Raglan, having been read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Keller, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. And we have the bylaw now to dedicate it as part of our highway that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw number 2026-45, being a bylaw for the assumption and dedication of part of lot 29 concession 14, being part 2 on plan 49R 1159 Lyndoch, township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan being part of PIN 57597-0110 land titles in the township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan in the county of Renfrew as part of the Goggling Road, having been read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Quad, seconded by Councillor Caulfield. Any comments or questions? We'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none. The motion is carried. Okay, so one more bylaw for shoreline road allowance. That the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan hereby adopt bylaw 2026-17, being a bylaw to provide for the closing and stopping up of part of the original allowance for road along the shore of Raglan Lake, laying in front of lot 21, concession 13 in the geographic township of Raglan, and for the transfer thereof to the owner of the abutting land, having been read a third time and finally passed. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any comments or questions? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Okay. We have a resolution that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan, go into closed session pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001, Section 239, Sub 2, for the purpose of two items under subsection F, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, and subsection B, personal matters about an identifiable individual. Could I get a mover to that, please? Moved by Councillor Keller, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Okay, we have a resolution that council comes out of the closed at 8:08 p.m. Could I get a mover, please?
I can move.
Moved by Councillor Keller, seconded by Councillor Quad. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed, none. Motion is carried. In the closed session, council discussed one item regarding an identifiable individual and received legal advice on two separate topics. And as a result, there's one resolution from closed that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan, hereby rescind resolutions 2026-06-03-10 and 2026-07-08-02. And further, the council directs the clerk treasurer to notify John and Lynn Madigan and Bradley Law that the township will accept the transfers of parts 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, and 14 at no cost to the township. And further, should John and Lynn Madigan wish to acquire the shoreline road allowances, part 2, 3, 5, and 9, that applications must be made to the township and all costs of the application, including land and legal fees, be paid by the applicants. So, can I get a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Banks, seconded by
Second.
Councillor Keller. Any comments or questions? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none. The motion is carried. Resolution number 2, the council for the corporation of the township of Brudenell, Lyndoch and Raglan hereby direct the clerk treasurer to proceed with direction given in closed. Can I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Quad, seconded by Councillor Caulfield. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none. The motion is carried. And we have a resolution for the conformatory bylaw that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindock and Raglan hereby adopts bylaw 2026-46, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the August 5th, 2026 regular meeting of council, having been read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed. Get a mover for that, please.
I can
Moved by Councillor Capel, seconded by Councillor Keller. Any comments or questions?
No,
Called for the vote. All those in favor?
yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. And we have adjournment. That this meeting adjourns at 8:11 PM. Can I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Keller, Councillor Claude, and seconded by Councillor Banks. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried.